Welcome back to the Shop Mini RC, everybody. I'm Ken, and today we're looking at our SCX30s with aluminum links, and I want to show you real quick. I kind of was already working on it here, and I was like, let's make a video real quick. I wanted to show you aluminum links and how they can be sloppy sometimes and how to fix that slop. It's pretty easy. So if you look at like this guy here, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it much, but if you kind of twist your axle, right, you rotate it forward and backwards, you can feel and see how much slop you have in there. See how they're kind of moving back and forth? Same on the front here. Let me pull that off. Same on the front here. If we kind of rotate it in and out, you can see there's quite a bit of slop in there, right? Like that's just rotational. I'm not moving the suspension. I'm just rotating it. You get a ton of back and forth movement in here. And that adds up. When you have a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit here and a little bit up there, you end up with just lots of, and side to side too. Side to side play. And like on this buggy here, this one's even worse actually. Look at this. Look how much play there is. So that's side to side and rotational. See that? That's just loose links. All that is just these, each of these little link joints, link ends have a little bit of slop in them. Not much. I mean, it's so minimal. And on these guys, it's hard because it's just this little tiny bit, right? Now I went ahead and already did the back, and I only did these two, right? I didn't do this side. I didn't do the uppers at all, just these two. But look how much it fixed it. That's my rotation compared to here. So you can see there's just a little bit there, but nothing compared to the front. And then on this guy, if you do the rear, you can see there's quite a bit. And I think these links are pretty close to the same. Again, I'm trying to not compress the shocks here, but that's a lot of slop in there. I know I just want to make sure you guys see how much better this is. There's still a little bit. And again, because I didn't do any of the other, I only did these two here, and it made such a big difference. You can see as I rotate it, they don't slap in and out. They don't like the front does. See that? They slide in and out. Whereas this side has none, very little. So I'm going to go ahead and do the front lowers here. I'm not going to go through and do them all right now, but I'm going to at least do these 4 lowers. Already did the back 2. We're going to do the front 2, and you're just going to see how big of a difference this is, even on this, once we do these 2. All right. Now I hear people or see people in the groups and whatnot always say, how do you get this screw out? I keep screwing it and the screw won't come out, which is we're completely unscrewed right now, but it won't come out any further. So just put some pressure on the link. You can push down, you can pull, you can push, whatever. Just need to put some pressure on the link, and then you can continue to unscrew it. And eventually you'll hear it click, and that's the screw coming out, and you should be able to get it out a little further. And then usually it'll just dump right out, no problem. All right, so all we're going to do, this is, again, super simple, but you got to be careful. You don't want to overdo it because it'll be a problem. A lot of this, there's slop in 2 places. There's slop between the screw and the ball, meaning that the hole in the ball is just a little too big. So there's just and this is so small, guys, it's so hard to see, but there's just a little bit of slop in the screw to the ball. And then there's a little bit of slop between the ball and the actual link. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fix the ball and the screw. I'm basically going to put my screw in, push it through, and we're going to take some flush cuts. And you're going to be very careful doing this. Again, do this at your own risk. If you mess up your links or you can't get your screw out later, that's on you. I'm telling you right now, you barely squeeze this. And I'm just giving it the tiniest bit of squeeze. I'll test it, see if my screw feels tight. You can feel the threading. You can probably hear it actually. Okay, and then I'm going to do the other side. I'm going to pop the screw out, flip it around. And we're just kind of crimping or bending the ball joint just a little bit on the edges, like these little ridge that's here. It's so tiny. There's like the tiny little ridge in there. I'm just kind of squeezing it just a little bit up against my screw. Go a little bit more here. Again, I'm talking the smallest amount. See, if you do it too much, see what happens? Now your screw won't come out. So I'm going to work it. Oh, man. That's exactly what I mean, though. You don't want to overdo that because now you're in trouble. And then when you're trying to screw your screw in, you're going to have a problem. So just be super careful and don't do what we just did. It's because I was busy not paying attention, talking to you guys. All right. See if we can work this screw in and out, kind of bend it back. Again, it all depends on how tough that material of that ball joint is, but basically running the screw through here. And, you know, if you do this, you could damage the threading on your screw. But again, you just want to make sure you get it nice and tight, but not so tight that the screw won't move in and out. And if it does get stuck in there, do what we just did and kind of pull it out and then force it in and out. Okay, so now we're good. But that's going to take a lot of the slop out of the screw to the ball. Okay. Next, I'm going to leave the screw in there for now, unless if your screw is loose enough to fall out, maybe take it out so you don't lose it. But next, I'm just going to take some pliers, and I'm going to use the nut. I don't want to mar it up. I'm going to use the flat part of the pliers and just kind of get in here and just squeeze a little bit. Again, super, super gentle. You don't want to bind up that ball. And then we're going to squeeze on this side because these are angled, right? So it's going to kind of pinch one side, pinch the other side just a little bit. You want your ball joint to still be nice and free. There should be nothing stopping it, but you want it to have a little bit of pressure on the ball just because the ball is too loose. That's part of the problem here. But you don't want it to bind. So make sure your ball and your joints all move nice and free. Again, err on the side of caution. Don't overdo it. If you overdo it, it's really hard to go back. Okay, I think we're good. I don't want to go any further. That's plenty tight. Now there's a lot of play taken out of there. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to put this guy back in, and I'm going to show you the difference between this side and the side we have not yet done. All right, let's get nice and snug in there. Again, don't over tighten. And watch this. See how this side moves so much more? If we go side to side, it's already stiffened it up a little bit. You can see, I can see it in the front. There's quite a bit still kind of moving, and these uppers. Okay, we still have quite a bit going on. This is mostly going to be due to the uppers, this rotational. But the side to side here, much better. And if I try to get this to move in here, you can see it's not moving much at all. It's so hard to hold it steady for you, but it's got just a little bit in there. But that bottom one's moving much more. A lot more on the bottom. So again, once we get the other side and you're rotating this side, there's like no movement. And as long as you maintain freedom of movement, but not tons of slop in there, you're going to be good. So let's get the other side. All right, boom. All four lowers are done. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but look at that difference. I mean, the side to side, still got a little bit in this one, but not much. But compare it to the uppers, right? Look at that. Those uppers are moving like crazy. And then side to side again. I'm just trying to get it to move as much as possible. But even then, look, that's less than it was for sure. Look at the servo moving. And if I did these, it'll be even less. And we still have plenty of freedom of movement, nice and smooth. So I might go ahead and do the uppers at the skid side. I don't really want to have to pull off the servo and all that right now, and the shocks and do all that. But let me do these four here as well. We'll come back.
A few moments later.
With the rears being easy to access, I'm going to go ahead and do the rear joint as well on here. So we're going to do the uppers on the front and the rear. Also, you got to pull it off the rear to get it out anyway. I couldn't get the links out without pulling the rear. On the fronts, it was kind of hard without pulling the servo, but I was able to pop them over and get them over to here so I could kind of work on them and then tuck them back in there. But the rears, because they're longer, it makes it hard to get up in there without taking it all the way out. So we might as well do both sides. And don't forget, the side that goes into the axle on the uppers is a larger screw than the one that goes in. So again, just be careful, make sure it's not too tight when you do it. If you make it too tight, it's hard to go back. So again, little tiny squeezes as you go. Feel it, squeeze it, feel it, squeeze it. And just get that play out of there, out of the screw and out of the actual ball joint itself. All right, we got tightened up here, 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 and the upper in the back, which means this, this and this are still loose, so you can kind of see where the play is. And look how much it moves here. So much movement in the axle, right? But you're not seeing it here, or even up here. You will see a little bit here though. But man, what a difference that makes. If I keep pressure on this side and try to move this side here, this side of the axle, and I keep pressure in this way on this guy, there's like no play in the axle. Look at that. Just a little bit from here, but like, oh my gosh, what a huge difference. So let's get this one tightened up and see how snuggy it is. Again, we're not going to do these backs here. If we did, it'd be even tighter. Now, I do want to point out, when you're kind of trying to squish down on the links, you're not just going flat here and squishing it, okay? You're trying to get the outside edges, this edge here, and then the outside edge on this side. You're trying to get them to kind of fold in a little bit, okay? So again, you're not just trying to squish this. If you just squish it, you're just making it oval, which, I mean, it'll help a little, but it doesn't help in the grand scheme of things. What you're trying to do is remove play. You're trying to squeeze the ball in so there's less play side to side, okay? So again, when you're coming at it, you can come at it kind of like, if depending on the angle of your pliers, see how it's going to squeeze this side more. You can kind of try to do that, or you can come at it like this and try to squeeze it just on one side, and then you can try to do just the other side. And again, it's not just a straight down squeeze this way. I'm coming at an angle, just a little bit, and then do the other side the same way. Come in at as much of an angle as I can right on the edge, as much of the angle that I can right on the edge. And that's going to help kind of cup the ball, right? Instead of just the hole being like this and squishing, we actually want the sides to get squished down. If you look at my fingers here, it's like, so instead of being flat when it's round, right, the link end, and you're squishing it, you want to squish just the side, so the side comes down just a little. So you're kind of cupping it. It's hard to describe with just my hands, but you should be able to feel some of the play come out. Again, less is more. Take your time. Don't overdo it. Don't lose the freedom of movement in the joints. Alrighty, boys and girls, look at that. Very little movement. And again, most of that's going to be now in the shocks here. With the shocks mount, there's some movement in there now. But overall, man, what a difference. Just a tiny bit of side to side. Very little roll. Most of that side to side, again, is going to be the shocks there. Very little roll, though. The front still has a decent amount because I didn't do these uppers here or the shocks. So there's some there. But even so, like, that's side to side. It's so minimal. You don't see it moving in there anymore. Right? Just the tiniest bit. And I'm pushing on it. Like, so still have all of our articulation nice and smooth, but just way less slop and play. So again, here's this one, which we haven't messed with at all. Still tons of play, tons of rotation. Look at that. Crazy amounts. And again, I think these are pretty much the same links, but any kind of aluminum links where it's all metal, you're probably going to have something similar to this. But this is, again, just a little bit, but way better. Just doesn't feel as sloppy as it did overall. Whereas this guy still kind of feels like it's got, you can almost hear it. Whereas on here, it's like, it's more stable. Yeah, I mean, so much better. So much better. All right, guys, I just wanted to show you. Hope you guys learned something from this. Hopefully this helped anybody out there with some metal links. You know, it's hard to get these things manufactured perfectly with absolute perfect tolerances, especially at this size. I mean, it's already extremely high tolerances just to get it to work at this size, let alone have absolutely zero slop, because you got to remember, these are super tiny, and, you know, people are like, well, smaller should be cheaper. Smaller should be easier. Well, no, because once you start to reach certain tolerances, man, you're like on a nano scale of like not 0.1 millimeter, like 0.0001 millimeters. So, I'll give leeway to the manufacturers a little bit. It would be nice if we get a little tighter straight from the factory. But again, part of this hobby is making your things perfect for you. So I think this is going to help a lot with some of those metal links out there and metal ball joints. One of the nice things about the plastic is they don't have to have the tolerances quite as perfect, and you get a lot less play because the plastic can kind of be snug on it without binding. And there's still some play in there though, but not as much. You don't see the play in the plastic and the ball link, but you do see it in the screw and the ball joint. So you could go through and do the same on your plastic ones. If you find that you have a lot of play in there, just where the ball joint and the screw meet. Again, you just don't want to overdo it, because if you tighten it too much, you're going to have a hell of a time trying to get the screw out of the ball joint when you take your back apart. Okay. All right, guys. Huge shout out to all my channel members. Thank you guys. You guys support the channel. You're amazing. I appreciate all you do. They get to see videos early without ads before everybody else. They also get behind the scenes videos, stuff like that. Depends on the level of membership you have. Sometimes you get stickers sent out. All kinds of cool stuff. We also have a Discord. Join our Discord down in the description below. Everything RC, especially small scale stuff. And we have everything from crawling to drifting to bashing to racing and oval track and dirt track and off-road and trailing, you name it. There's a bunch of conversations going on in there. Everybody in there is super helpful, super awesome. So that's definitely a community you want to check out. And yeah, appreciate everybody watching again. Get out there and build something awesome. Build a car, build a course, build a community. All those things keep the hobby going and growing. And then smash it, crash it, and bash it. Just don't break the expensive parts. Peace.